When you represent yourself, you are the person who has to ask the witnesses questions. There are two types of questions you might be asking. The first is to your witnesses to help in presenting your case. The second is cross-examining the other party's witnesses to test or challenge their evidence or put forward a contrary allegation.
When people make allegations against another person, it's important that those allegations be tested. And one of the ways that we test those allegations or to test their evidence is to have the person cross-examined or to have them asked questions about the evidence that they're giving.
In a hearing, questioning is very formal. The witness can only be asked questions while they are in the witness box, and the person asking the questions must stand. In a determinative conference, questioning is much less formal. Witnesses give evidence and answer questions from the bar table, and the person asking the question can remain seated.
Ms Davidson, now I'd like to provide you with an opportunity to ask Mr Harley any questions that you might want to ask him.
When asking questions, it's important to try to stay on topic. Don't ask about things unrelated to the dismissal.
But what did you do about bringing it to their attention? From my point of view, it just kept happening. So what did you actually do?
Well, we spoke about, I guess, sorry to interrupt Ms Davidson. I guess from my perspective, I'm here to determine whether the termination of your employment was harsh, unjust or unreasonable. It's not so much an inquiry into the business practices of Mr Harley. So what I'm having difficulty understanding is how this line of questioning is going to assist me to determine whether your dismissal was unfair.
Also, a witness cannot answer questions about things they did not see, hear or do themselves.
Do you think, would someone know where she works from what she posts, even if it's not specifically about work?
Mr Harley, I'm not sure that Mr Davidson could give evidence about what other people might think or see.
Sure.
He can only give evidence about his own experience in matters.
So, do you think what your mum put on there was okay?
Well, again, Mr Harley, it's really for me to determine in this matter whether there's a valid reason for termination and whether that reason justified the dismissal.
Having to question or cross-examine witnesses may seem daunting, but there are some simple things that you can do to help prepare yourself. Often it can be quite helpful to think about your questions in advance and perhaps even write them down. Then you can bring them with you to make sure you don't forget to ask something. That will help you ensure that you address all of the matters that are important to your argument. It can also help you test and challenge other parties' evidence in cross-examination. You ask different styles of questions when you cross-examine the other side's witnesses compared to the sort of questions you might ask your own witnesses. When questioning your own witness, you want to give them every chance to tell your side of the story.
The best types of questions are open-ended questions which provide the witness with an opportunity to tell their side of the story. It's unhelpful for the person asking the questions to ask a question which, in the asking, suggests the answer. That gives that evidence very little weight.
This is an example of an open-ended question.
And what settings, I believe it's called settings, what did you put on there for me?
I thought I set them to the highest privacy settings there was.
However, when cross-examining the other party's witnesses, you want to test or challenge their evidence. So it might be useful to ask leading questions, that is, questions that suggest the answer or could be answered with a simple yes or no. This is an example of a leading question.
Did you know that, some of your friends might work for companies in the building industry?
No.
The commission member may also ask their own questions.
And up until the point in time where Mr Harley took over from his father, had there been any concerns raised with you about your conduct or performance in the workplace?
No, we got on very well, we worked very well together and things ran pretty smoothly.
But you should not rely on the commission member to ask the right questions to prove your case. It's up to each party to ensure that the right questions are asked, to allow the important points about their case to be made.
Our role is not to assist either party. Our role is to conduct a fair hearing. And a fair hearing requires that there be procedural fairness and requires that both parties are afforded natural justice and that both parties have an opportunity to present the best case they can.